Hello everyone, welcome to Everyday Essential series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we are going to discuss the essential topics from the Hindu and the Indian Express. So today, as part of this series, let us discuss the topics from 21st June 2025, where we are going to discuss about the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. The second one is the Association for Democratic Reforms ADR, and the third one is the NPT Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and fourth is the Bashar nuclear plant, and finally the Turkey country mapping. So starting with the first topic, that is Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. So why we are discussing this? See, the first batch of 33 pilgrims and two liaison officers left for Kailash Mansarovar Yatra via the Nathula Pass in Sikkim. So this Kailash Mansarovar Yatra is a annual affair, but in the year 2020, it was this Kailash Mansarovar Yatra was stopped from the Indian side due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the strained relationship between the India and the China because of this Galwan Valley issue. In the 2020, it was stopped, and after 5 years, now the first batch of these 33 pilgrims are said to visit this Kailash Mansarovar. So let us see about this visit. What is this Kailash Mansarovar Yatra? This Kailash Mansarovar Yatra is a visit to the Mount Kailash and the Mansarovar Lake, which are located nearby in Tibetan Autonomous Region of China. And this yatra is conducted by the which ministry? Remember, it is conducted by the Ministry of External Affairs and with the help of Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force because of the safety and the security issues. And this Ministry of External Affairs only chooses the pilgrims based on the eligibility criteria and also checks the medical and the fitness certificates for going to or visiting this Mount Kailash and the Mansarovar Lake. And every year, the Ministry of External Affairs conducts this visit in the month of June and September for a period of about 23 to 25 days. And who is eligible to go for this yatra? Anyone holding Indian passports, and they should be aged between 18 to 70 years. And they should have good medical and fitness certificate also. Physical fitness. Now, from the Indian side, there are two routes to reach this Mount Kailash and the Mansarovar. They are the Lipulek Pass of Uttarakhand and the Nathula Pass of Sikkim. See, first, you can see here, this is the Lipulek Pass. This is Mount Kailash and the Mansarovar Lake. You can reach directly from here to here. And the other one is Nathula Pass in the Sikkim. From here to here, you can also go. There are two routes from Indian side. And coming to this Lipulek Pass, this Lipulek Pass lies at an altitude of about 5,115 meters on the border between the Uttarakhand and the Tibetan Autonomous Region of China, near the tri-junction with the Nepal. And this Lipulek Pass is an ancient passageway. This Lipulek Pass is an ancient passageway between the Indian subcontinent and the Tibetan plateau, frequented by the traders and the pilgrims. And this Lipulek Pass is the most direct way. See here, it is the direct way to reach this Mansarovar Lake or the Mount Kailash. And this lake is nearly 50 kilometers from this border. But here the terrain from this Lipulek Pass to Mansarovar Lake becomes difficult. It involves roughly 200 kilometers of hard trekking. And this has been operational since 1981 as it is the ancient passageway. Lipulek Pass is the ancient passageway and its journey from here to here is difficult, that it involves roughly 200 kilometers of hard trekking. And coming to the logistics of this Lipulek Pass, the Kumaon Mandal Vikas Nigam will look after all the logistics related to these trekking conditions. And the second one is the Nathula Pass. This Nathula Pass lies at an altitude of 4,310 meters on the border between the Sikkim and the Tibetan Autonomous Region. It is one of the two mountain passes in this region, the other being the Jelepla Pass, which have connected Sikkim and the Tibet since ancient times also. This Nathula Pass to Mansarovar Lake is operational since 2015. And the route to Mansarovar from this Nathula Pass is much longer in terms of distance, that is close to 1500 kilometers, meaning pilgrims can make it all the way to the lake without any trekking. It also provides the motorable route. Here, the pilgrims need not go to any trekking. Hardly they have to trek about 35 to 40 kilometer trekking only. Here, we have the direct motorable route from this Nathula Pass to this Mansarovar Lake and the Mount Kailash. And coming to the logistic support regarding this Nathula Pass, it is provided by the Sikkim Tourism Development Corporation for this Nathula Pass. These are the two routes from the Indian side to go to the Kailash Mansarovar. And there is also one more route, that is from the Nepal route. Here, from this Nepal route, the third party, that is the private companies, will access this route and they will send the pilgrims to this Kailash Mansarovar from this Nepal route. So now coming to what is this Kailash Mansarovar? This Mount Kailash is the situated in the Kailash range in the Trans Himalayas in the Engari prefecture of this Tibet Autonomous Region of China. And coming to this Lake Mansarovar, which is also locally known as the Mapam Yamso in the Tibet, Mapam Yamso. And this is a high altitude freshwater lake. Remember, it is a freshwater lake near the Mount Kailash in the Tibetan Autonomous Region. And the four rivers emerge from this Mount Kailash and the Lake Mansarovar. They are Sutlej, Brahmaputra, Indus, and the Karnali or the Kamali. Now coming to the significance of this Mount Kailash and the Lake Mansarovar, see, it has religious significance, geographical significance, medical significance, as well as tourism significance. Coming to the religious, according to the scriptures, this place is considered as sacred. And for Hinduism, this Mount Kailash is the abode of Shiva. Mount Kailash is considered as the abode, home place of the Shiva. And coming to this Lake Mansarovar, it is in Hinduism, it is believed that taking a dip in this Mansarovar or drinking the water washes all the sins of Hindus. And coming to the Buddhism, for Buddhists, this Mount Kailash is also known as the Meru Parvat. This Mount Kailash is also known as the Meru Parvat, and it is considered to be the place where Lord Buddha seated and meditated for some days. And coming to the Jainism, this lake and this place is considered to be the place where Lord Rishabdeva or the Tirthangara Rishabnatha, the first Tirthangara, attained spiritual liberation here only. And coming to the Sikkim, this place is considered to be this where Guru Nanak, founder of Sikhism and the first of the 10 Sikh Gurus, learnt meditation here only. And also, not only for this Indian religions, according to the Bon religion, that is the religion of Tibet, Zanzung, that is the place in the Engari prefecture where Mount Kailash and this Mansarovar is situated. It is a holy place in Tibet. It is believed that the founder of Bon religion, that is the Tonapa Sherab, visited Tibet for the first time and obtained and took a bath in this Mansarovar lake. So this is the religious significance for Hindus, Buddhists, Jain, Sikhs, and this Bon religion of the Tibet. Now coming to the geographical significance, this Mount Kailash is the central part of the earth, surrounded by 6 other mountain ranges from the sides. This Mount Kailash is surrounded by the 6 other mountain ranges and it is considered as the central part of the earth. And the campus of Mount Kailash is considered to be the focal point of the whole universe. So this is the geographical significance. And coming to the medical significance, here there are so many medicinal plants. Some of them are the Nagamani flower and the Bichugas. Bichugas is also known as the stinging nettle. Stinging nettle, these are useful to cure joint pain and also work as the acupuncture. Now coming to the tourism, there are so many beautiful places like the nature, snowy mountains, greenery. The mountain Kailash is surrounded by the flourishing gardens. So that's how it is significant for tourism also. So these are the significant features or significance of the Mount Kailash or the Mansarovar Lake. Now moving to our second topic, that is Association for Democratic Reform. So why we are discussing this? Recently, this organization has released a report on the election expenditure in the Lok Sabha elections 2024. So what it said? It said that for the BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party spent around 1,493.91 crore rupees, which is 44.56% of the total expenditure. And for coming to the Congress, Congress spent 620.14 crore rupees, which is 18.5% of the total expenditure. It also said that the National Party spent more than 2,204 crore compared to the regional parties. That is, which consists of 65.75% of the total election expenditure. It also said the data regarding the funds collection. Regarding the funds collection, the national parties received around 6,930.246 crore, which is 93.08% of the total funds collected. Total funds collected. But whereas the regional parties received only 515.32 crore, that is the 6.92% of the total funds collected. So what is this ADR, Association for Democratic Reforms, is a non-political, non-profit and the non-partisan organization. This was established in the year 1999 by a group of professors from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. And in this year 1999 only, a public interest litigation PIL was filed by the professors from this IIM Ahmedabad with the Delhi High Court, asking or requesting for the disclosure of the criminal, financial and the educational background of the candidates contesting in the elections. And based on this PIL only, the Supreme Court in the year 2002 made it, and in the year 2003 made it mandatory for all the candidates contesting elections to disclose their criminal background, the financial and the educational background prior to the polls by filing an affidavit with the Election Commission. So this was the role played by the Association for Democratic Reforms in the year 1999. And after forming as a non-profit organization, they have done their first duty as the first election was in the 2002 Gujarat Assembly elections by measuring or checking about these backgrounds, how much election expenditure has been incurred by the parties, like that. And what is the goal of this ADR? That is to improve the governance and strengthen democracy by continuous work in the area of this electoral and the political reforms. So this is about the Association for Democratic Reforms. Now going for a third topic, that is Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. So why we are discussing this? As we all know that there is a heightened war between the Iran and the Israel. And regarding this war, this Islamic Republic of Iran has said that its parliament was preparing a bill to potentially exit the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, that is the NPT. So we'll see what is this treaty. This treaty was opened for signature in the year 1968 and entered into force in the year 1970. This treaty has three main objectives. Those are to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and also the nuclear weapon technology. The second one is to promote the cooperation in the peaceful uses of nuclear energy. It does not prohibit the peaceful uses of nuclear energy. And the third one is to further the goal of achieving nuclear disarmament. Nuclear disarmament. So these are the three main objectives of this non-proliferation treaty. And this treaty is the only binding commitment in the multilateral treaty which look for the nuclear disarmament. Till now, 191 states have joined this treaty. And this treaty declares the nuclear state as the one in which has manufactured and exploded a nuclear weapon or other nuclear explosive device prior to 1st January 1967. That is before the year which it has come up for signing. And according to this treaty, there are 5 nuclear weapon countries. Those are, as per this definition, 5 nuclear weapon states. Those are P5, the permanent 5 of the UNSC, United Nations Security Council. That is the US, UK, Russia, China, and France. So according to this definition, these are the 5 nuclear states according to this nuclear non-proliferation treaty. And here, 4 UN member states, 4 United Nations member states are not a party, not signed this treaty. Those are India, Pakistan, Israel, and the South Sudan also. This was formed in the year 2011. This also not signed this nuclear non-proliferation treaty. And among these 4, these 3 are having this nuclear weapons. These 3 are nuclear countries. And coming to North Korea signed this treaty in the year 1985 but announced its withdrawal in the year 2003. And North Korea now developing its nuclear reactors and the nuclear enrichment also. And Iran has signed this treaty in the year 1970 and now it is considering to exit from this nuclear non-proliferation treaty. And coming to the withdrawal condition, under Article 10 of this treaty, it says that any country can withdraw from this treaty. Any country can withdraw from this treaty if the country decides that extraordinary events related to the subject matter of this treaty have jeopardized the supreme interest of this country. If the country believes that any extraordinary events of this treaty have compromised the supreme interest of this country, that country can issue a withdrawal notice with a statement about the extraordinary events. By stating the extraordinary events for withdrawing, the country can withdraw from its non-proliferation treaty. Now, what happens if this Iran exit from this nuclear non-proliferation treaty? If the Iran exit from this treaty, first it will keep Iran out of the IAES, that is International Atomic Energy Agency's purview and the inspections. So if the Iran exits from this treaty, the IAEA agency cannot be held responsible for its nuclear enrichment and it cannot go for inspections of this nuclear enrichment program. The second one is it could set a precedent for other states to leave this global framework. So this is all about the nuclear non-proliferation treaty. The fourth one is the Bashar nuclear plant. So why we are discussing this? The International Atomic Energy Agency warns of nuclear disaster if Israel attacks this Iran's Bashar plant. So this Iran's Bashar plant was opened in the year 2011 September and it is the first civil nuclear power plant built in the Middle East and it is Iran's only operating nuclear power plant. It is located in the south of Tehran at the side of the Gulf Coast. And this Bashar plant was built with the Russian assistance and fueled by the Russian supplied uranium. And this is considered as the low risk for the weapons proliferation because Russia takes back the spent fuel from this Bashar nuclear plant. So this Bashar nuclear plant is operating in this Iran only, but it is built with the Russian assistance and it is fueled by the Russian supplied uranium only. And this is considered as a low risk for the weapons proliferation because there is no spent fuel here because the Russia takes back this spent uranium fuel from this nuclear plant. So that's why it is low risk for the any weapon proliferation. Now coming to the final topics, that is Turkey. So why we are discussing this? See, yesterday in our everyday essential series we have discussed about this Armenia, right? This Armenia and the Turkey have never established formal diplomatic ties, and the shared border has been closed since the 1990s. So there is a strained relationship between the Armenia and the Turkey. But now the Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan arrived in the Istanbul. It is the largest city of Turkey for a rare visit to Arc for Turkey in what Yerevan has described as a historic step towards the regional peace. For establishing any regional peace, this Armenian Prime Minister, after so many decades, have went to the Istanbul, Turkey. So that's why we are discussing about Turkey. So this Turkey is a country in the West Asia and some part, the relative part of its East Thrace is also present in this Southeast Europe. Its capital is Ankara. The largest city is the Istanbul. Turkish is its official language and this Turkey is considered as the upper middle income country. Now coming to the border countries of this Turkey. Syria, it is bordered by Syria here, Iraq, Iran, Armenia, and also Azerbaijan. See, Armenia, there is this border dispute between Turkey and Armenia. Now, Armenian Prime Minister is going for a relationship between Turkey. Now, here it is Georgia, and coming to the west side, in the Europe side, it is Bulgaria and the Greece. So that's all for today. Thank you.